Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. In today's episode of What Am I Doing Now, which is just a Monday morning 5-minute episode, I am starting with my transplants. This is everything that I've been growing indoors. They've been acclimated over a week. Peppers, more peppers, eggplant, peppers, kale back there. Those are plants that I would have been bringing in and out of the house, in at night, out during the day. These are tomatoes that I just did a video on that I'm seed starting without grow lights. They come out during the day and they're a little yellow on top. Don't worry about it. Just maintain the course. These plants will be perfectly fine. And then more peppers, tomatoes, and all that. So these are all going to get potted up now into larger pots. They'll go into maybe my cold frames or something like that. But the temperatures are adjusting that we're not at risk that much for frost. But they're not going to go into the ground because it is still too early. But I'm going to be potting these up. Let's go over to a flower garden because I have about 120 flowers that I grow. I want to show you how well they did. Here are 4 flats of flowers that I started indoors in January. I believe I did a video on it. Now, this Monday morning episode is more about videos or more about things I'm doing in the garden that aren't going to make a video. If I made videos of everything, I would never be able to take care of the yard. So these are all going to go out into these beds that my wife and I built last year. And last year I had to spend about $400 to fill these all in. It was late in the season. This year I grew everything myself. There's about 120 plants here. You know, $3-4 a plant. That's easily $400-500 worth of stuff. I have painted daisies, blanket flower, carnations, blue better sage, bee balm. This is probably, let me just look. This is dianthus, more blue better sage. These are all perennials. So when I fill up this area, they're going to come back year after year. And the pattern that I do is really, I just replicate the pattern. So maybe I'll do painted daisy, carnation, blue better sage, bee balm, and I just repeat that all the way down. And I think it'll look really cool. And I adjust the height. So like painted daisies will be taller here than lower plants. Then painted daisy will start again. Plants that don't grow as tall all the way down. You get the idea. I will show this off once it's growing. But this is a great way to save money. This is everything you saw me starting back in January. And now April 4th, it looks really, really good. Let's check out the cold frame. And then I want to show you my fruit garden because I've really, well, the fruit area of my garden, because I've really changed it over. This is one of my cold frames, and this is really a combination of cold frame growing, winter sowing. Sometimes I left this top off and it was down into the 20s, so it was pretty much winter sowing. When I put the top on, sun comes in during the day, this does warm up a little more. But these have been in here for months, but they've really taken off in the last couple of weeks. In about another week or so, they'll be tall enough to go out into my garden. But this took, you know, just the outdoor space. I didn't mess around with grow lights. I just put them out here when we were still getting freezing temperatures into the teens, low 20s, and the cool weather crops did really, really well. But these are about 3 flats worth of plants I didn't have to buy. I didn't have to grow under grow lights. They just sat outside. One thing I like about having a rectangle of 2 acres is I can drive my truck loaded with everything I need right up to the garden, and it makes it really convenient. This is the fruit area of my garden. I'll be talking more about this in the next Friday morning ramblings I'll be doing this week, but I just wanted to show you how it looks. I'm really excited about it. I'm putting down shredded hardwood. I'm buying it by the bag, which is a little bit expensive, but I want this area, this whole rectangle, to be brown because it's going to be a separate room. So the fruit area, it's going to sort of have brown carpet compared to the rest of the garden. But when I dropped in these metal raised beds, and I'll put the link in here if you want to learn a little bit more about them in the video description, I set them up and they just sat in these spaces for a week. And I just kept looking at it and just kind of thinking about the design that I wanted. And this is what I came up with. I just did a video on building these and filling these, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But I like the way this looks, especially bringing in that brown mulch. Strawberries, garlic in there, fresh raised beds, 2 trees. Gonna go buy another 20 bags of mulch, just in case you want to know. All this mulch was 15 bags, so it can be expensive. That's like 60 bucks. but it covers that much space. And I am, spending a little more on this because of the look I want. But it's going to take another 20 bags to fill this out. I think it'll look great. I'll have videos coming on the blueberry care soon. I just wanted to get everything cleaned up. So I've got this side of the garden getting fixed up. Already fixed up the other side. Got to work on the middle of the garden. And those are the kinds of things I'm doing. This is how I kind of plan out my week. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. And this is pretty much what I'm doing this week.